Hello, I'm Michael. In 2009, my wife Ollie and I and our kids, we had just returned from a mindfulness retreat with the Vietnamese Zen Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh. It had been, I think, our fourth retreat that we had gone to. And Ollie and I, we decided to do something that we'd been talking about for years. What would happen if we tried an experiment, bringing together a community that was a melding of Buddhism and Christianity, that had a focus on caring for our earth, inclusivity, and it was grounded in mindfulness and Thich Nhat Hanh's teachings. So we started a church. We called it the Buddhist Christian Mother Earth Church. That led a few years later to me going to seminary at MTSO, the Methodist Theological School in Ohio, where again I melded Buddhist and Christian ideas to the degree that I could in each of my classes. I specialized in eco-theology and social justice. And we had a couple iterations of that church. And then in 2020, we decided we'd try our third manifestation, what we're calling Sacred Ground. Sacred Ground Community Church and Sangha. And we were just getting ready to launch that church to get it going in the world when this pandemic hit. And so instead of this church just finding itself in Columbus, Ohio, we find ourselves online in community with whoever may have an interest anywhere in the world. So what's the value of this? I think one of the bases that I could go to is a question that I sometimes ask people that I started asking myself many years ago when I started to say, am I Buddhist or am I Christian? And the answer that came to me after many years is that I am a Buddhist Christian. I turn to this one tradition of 2,000 years and this other tradition of about 2,500 years, and I draw from them both. Pew Research now shows us that many others are drawing similarly from East and West. And I find that by going to both of these traditions, by going to both the Buddha and the Christ, by going to Christian prayer and Buddhist meditation, by going to the Bible and sutras and teachings from around the world, that I'm enriched, that I have something more than either of the traditions can provide alone, that 1 + 1 does not equal 2, but 1 + 1 equals something more than 3. And then with my focus on caring for the earth, and now our church's focus on that too, I look to these two traditions and my goodness, they have so much to offer. A lot of times we think of religion as in conflict with caring for this planet, in conflict with the issues of climate change, but actually we can draw upon these as rich resources for caring. So the question I have for you is, are you a Buddhist Christian? Do you find some strength in drawing from the East, in meditation and mindfulness, and yet do you also feel grounded by the teachings of Jesus or some of the traditions from your Christian heritage? A lot of people have been hurt by the Christianity that they grew up with. But that doesn't mean that we have to throw out baby Jesus with the bathwater. We don't have to throw out everything. I continue to be guided by these two amazing teachers, and I'm taught by the earth itself. What happens? What would happen if there were a church grounded by the teachings of Thich Nhat Hanh and his mindfulness trainings? What would happen if we brought together the beneficial teachings of Buddhism and Christianity and Mother Earth spirituality and other religious and spiritual traditions? What would happen if we brought together our blood and our spirit and our land ancestors? What would happen if we had a church that took as its fundamental and primary ethical and moral imperative as care for this planet, care for the creatures of this planet, care for our earth and care for ourselves? What would happen if we did this with a focus on mindfulness and an open and affirming community where all were welcome, where we were watering beneficial seeds in children, in families, in individuals, in couples, in all of us? And what would happen if we did all this while resacralizing our lives, resacralizing our relationships, resacralizing this earth, open to the great sacredness itself that is beyond all names and encompasses all names? I love the Christian idea of calling. What are we here to do? What is the question? Quest I on. What is the question for us? We are in some strange, unprecedented, challenging time. We need some grounding. What can we draw from our roots? Where can we look for inspiration? How can we connect with presence and compassion and peace and loving kindness to this planet? These are the questions that are going to guide us as we go forward with sacred ground. And we invite you, wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever gifts you have, whatever questions you have, if this has interest for you, if this sounds like, hey, that's what I've been looking for, we invite you to be a part of our sangha, a part of our church, a part of our spiritual community, so that together we can water beneficial seeds in ourselves, in each other, in this earth. We are at a time of profound change. None of us could have imagined just a couple of months ago where we'd be right now. We all have these limited lifespans as humans. What are we here to do? How do we conspire with the ancestors so that we may conspire with our descendants and add to what's good? We invite you to join us on this quest, on this journey, in this work. Peace to you.